Tigers are getting healthier, but one key opt-out for the Texas Bowl. We'll talk about it. Locked on LSU. Here we go.
You are Locked On LSU, your daily podcast on the LSU Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Okay, let's get it. It is Locked On LSU, your team every day. I'm your host, Matt Moscona. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. We're free, available wherever you get great podcasts. Of course, on YouTube as well, so please subscribe. As always, one of the fastest ways to help us grow is by leaving your comments below. So thank you sincerely for that. Thank you for helping make the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network. And thank you also for watching every weekday on the Gulf Coast Sports and Entertainment Network. Tigers will play a bowl game in 1 week. Hard to believe, but feels like so much of the focus and the emphasis around this program is on the future, and rightfully so. What's Lane Kiffin doing with his staff, the upcoming portal targets, who on the current roster is headed to the portal, headed to the draft. We'll delve into all of that. But of course, in the meantime, Frank Wilson, the current staff, the current players are going to play a game a week from today as we record this on Saturday against Houston in the Texas Bowl. So I got a couple of notes for you. The Tigers are 7 bowl practices in as of right now, and they're off this weekend. So they're off Saturday, Sunday. They'll be back at it Monday. Talking to a few staff members, 95% of the game plan is in. The install is in. At this point, it's about gearing up and getting ready, fundamentally being healthy and ready to play a game a week from today. So game plan's in for all 3 phases, getting ready for U of H. Now, they have the weekend off. They'll be back on Monday, and they'll have 4 practices next week. So we talk about it often. You know, the bowl practices are really the most important part of preparing for a bowl game. So there's 7 in. They've got 4 coming up this week, and they will practice. I'm sure they'll leave on Christmas Eve for Houston. So the LSU travel party will leave Christmas Eve for Houston, so they'll spend Christmas Day there in Houston as well, which is Thursday, getting ready for the game on Saturday. Now, there are a few very important personnel notes that I think are worth pointing out here. A couple of players who are getting healthy and will be back, and then one new likely opt-out. So let's talk about the health, okay? Who's healthy and coming back? Great news is that Braelin Moore is back. He is practicing, and he is expected to play in the Texas Bowl. Braelin Moore has been your best offensive lineman all season long by whatever metric you want to look at. If you want to look at, overall offensive grade, he was a 69.4 according to Pro Football Focus. The next highest rated offensive lineman was Josh Thompson at a 61.8. So a big disparity from Braelin Moore and the rest of your offensive linemen. And remember, he only played 3 snaps against Western Kentucky with the foot injury and then missed the Oklahoma game. He also played just 1 snap earlier this year against Louisiana Tech when he sprained his ankle, but was back a week later against Florida. So this is a guy who has played in 11 of your 12 games, but in 2 of those 11, he played in a total of 4 snaps. But when he has been out there, he has been your best offensive lineman. So having Braelin Moore available for this game is massive, and boy, would it be monumental if Braelin Moore comes back next season. We've talked about this a good bit, but when you look at both sides of the ball, retention, which is what this staff is doing right now, and if you're an everydayer, shout out, you've heard me say this already, right now they're in the retention part of the roster. So who are the players currently on the team that they want back, and who are they willing to let walk? Well, when you start talking about retention, defensively, Whit Weeks, DJ Pickett, those are going to be at the top of the list. Offensively, I think you're starting there with Braelin Moore, and then probably with Harlem Berry right after that. And we've had the conversation about running back, but all that to say, Braelin Moore has been outstanding for LSU this season, transferred in from Virginia Tech, played in 11 games, started the 11 games that he played, as we just talked about. He has only committed 2 penalties all season. I mean, that is astonishing. For an offensive lineman, starting offensive lineman to commit just 2 penalties all season is really pretty amazing. So by contrast, Weston Davis led LSU with 9 penalties this year. So awesome job by Braelin Moore this season. He's healthy, practicing. By the way, did not participate in senior day, which sometimes that's an indicator of what a player's intention is. Like if they participate in senior day, that's pretty much a signal that they're leaving. Braelin Moore did not participate in senior day. Now, he can go pro, but he has another year of eligibility if he wants to use it. Hopefully he does. Now, the other player who is practicing that is notable is Nic Anderson. Of course, we know Nic Anderson was one of the top targets in the country in the 2025 portal cycle. In his second year at Oklahoma, had the monster season where he averaged more than 20 yards per reception. Last year, he spent the whole season on the shelf in Norman, transfers to LSU, and on the season, 12 catches, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, I would have thought that would probably be a game for Nic Anderson. 12 catches, 106, and 2 touchdowns. But that's his season statistics. The most noteworthy moment he had was the deflected tip ball touchdown against Ole Miss, which was the first score of the game in that game in Oxford. But remember, Nic Anderson was hurt in that Alabama game and has not played since. So he missed the final 3 games of the season, but he is healthy. He's practicing and is going to play, expected to play, I should say, in the bowl game against Houston a week from today on Saturday, the 27th. So, with Aaron Anderson injured, opting out, you get a guy like Nic Anderson healthy, really good opportunity for him in this game. And certainly if you're Michael Van Buren, you want every weapon at your disposal. And a 6'4" receiver who can fly and blow the top off a defense certainly would be a big get. So Braelin Moore, Nic Anderson, 2 injured players who had been out, they're back. The one that's a bit concerning it's disappointing, but I understand it, is AJ Haulcy. It looks like AJ Haulcy is not going to play in this bowl game for LSU. So just a little bit of a Cliff's Notes here. So AJ Haulcy was all conference this year, outstanding safety, transferred in from Houston. So one part of this is LSU is going to be playing his former team on Saturday in the bowl game. I don't know that he's wild about playing his former team. He also, this hasn't really been talked about much, but AJ Haulcy has battled a shoulder injury this year. So astonishing, right? That he played as well as he did with a bum shoulder. So for a bulk of the season, he was less than 100% playing this year with that injured shoulder. So I think, and then also on Friday, Haulcy accepted a Senior Bowl invite. So he was, according to several people within the program who spoke directly to me, he was practicing at the beginning of bowl practice, but this week has not been out there. And the assumption is that he's accepted a Senior Bowl invite. He's going to shut it down, get healthy, not play in the bowl game, and just get ready to go have a great week in Mobile for the Senior Bowl and get ready for the draft. So, candidly, I did reach out to both AJ and his representative. Neither gave me a confirmation about the bowl game. But what I am very comfortable saying with multiple sources within the LSU football program is that Haulcy has not been practicing this week, and they do not expect him to play in the bowl game. Look, if he walked back today and was like, guys, I want to play, awesome. I just don't know that I expect that to happen. So Moore and Nic Anderson back. Haulcy looks like he will miss the game. That means if Haulcy doesn't play, great opportunity for Deshaun Spears. Spears in a reserve role had a really nice season for this LSU defense. And he had some key moments, obviously the pick 6 against University of Florida. And when you look at season-long defensive grades, Mansour Delane was the highest graded defender for LSU by PFF with a 90.9. Hear me. Mansour Delane, unanimous All-American, 90.9. Deshaun Spears, a 90.8 as his season grade. Delane played 624 snaps. Haulcy played 702. Spears played 168. So he was a reserve, but when he was on the field, my goodness, was he impactful. By the way, the top 3 graded defenders, Delane 90.9, Spears 90.8, Haulcy 88.1. So, and then DJ Pickett was 79.8. So a really bright future in that defensive backfield with Pickett and Spears and some of those guys. But clearly, this would be a great opportunity for Deshaun Spears. When we talk about the importance of the bowl game, like that's part of it, right? That's part of it when you're talking about the importance of a bowl game. When you have guys like Deshaun Spears, if Haulcy doesn't play, here's a chance for him to go start in a spot where he starts spring is going to be your starting free safety and hopefully have a huge junior season next year. So we'll turn the page. There's another Tiger who is done with LSU. He did declare that on Saturday. We'll dive into that and some players to keep an eye on in this final week of bowl preparation before the Texas Bowl. It's Locked on LSU, your team every day. The holidays always show up faster than we expect. And if you're still putting together gifts, last-minute decor, or getting your home ready for guests like we are literally doing today, Wayfair has you covered. Whether you need a quick room refresh, you need new bedding, or those final seasonal touches, Wayfair makes it easy to get what you need fast. Wayfair truly is your one-stop shop for everything home, with outdoor decor, furniture, kitchen essentials, and gifts for every style and every budget, all delivered quickly and easily. No massive delivery fees, no stress. I love that, by the way. And it is the best way to get your home holiday ready without running around to different stores. Get last-minute housing essentials, gifts for all of your loved ones, and decor to celebrate the holidays for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. NFL Sundays move fast. In one big play, suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game. You're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot. A defense tightens up. Momentum flips after a turnover. And FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scorers, drive results, totals, and so much more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Finally, we're brought to you by Rocket Money. You ever feel like your money just disappears each month? Happens fast. A few subscriptions here, an impulse buy there. Suddenly, the numbers in your bank account don't match the numbers in your head. Sound familiar? Rocket Money helps you get clarity, tracks every dollar, stays in control of your finances. Because managing your money shouldn't feel like a second job. Rocket Money does the heavy lifting for you so you can save more and stress less. And I like how Rocket Money automatically builds budgets based on past spending. So it keeps you on track without overthinking it. The bill alerts, the spending notifications, they help you catch small things before they turn into big expenses. Take control of your finances and cancel your unwanted subscriptions with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. One player we know will not be playing for LSU in the bowl game is Aaron Anderson. So we had mentioned this already for you, but Aaron Anderson on Saturday did formally declare for the NFL draft. Now, this shouldn't come as a great surprise. Anderson played his freshman season in Alabama and the last 3 seasons at LSU. He did go through senior day festivities at LSU against Western Kentucky. However, he does have a redshirt year, so he could come back for a 5th season if he wanted to. But typically, if you see a player go through senior day activities, they're done, right? So that's why we talked about Braelin Moore a bit ago. Braelin Moore not going through senior day activities kind of gives you some hope that, yeah, he's got a shot of returning. Now, Aaron Anderson went through senior day activities, and he's been battling multiple injuries throughout the course of the season. He's battled, shoulder, hip, knee injuries, even back to fall camp. And he's already committed to playing the East-West Shrine game. So Aaron Anderson has decided he is not going to play in the bowl game, and he will just focus on getting healthy, healed, and get ready to go play in the East-West Shrine game and get ready for the NFL draft. Anderson was your leading receiver a season ago, and this year we certainly thought it was likely that he'd be in that spot. But for Anderson this year, played in 9 games, 33 receptions, 398 yards, did not score a touchdown, oddly. But, this was just not a very good LSU offense. But he finished third on the team in receptions, third on the team in receiving yards, behind Braelin Brown and Xavier Thomas. So Aaron Anderson's LSU career is over. The former 5-star out of New Orleans, he is done at LSU. So big opportunity now when you think about Braelin Brown, Xavier Thomas, Chris Hilton, Nic Anderson, those Kyle Parker, those receivers in the bowl game who all are expected to play and to be available. So when you look at the opt-outs now already, based on what Frank Wilson had previously told us, Garrett Nussmeier is out. Aaron Anderson will be out for this ball game as well. Whit Weeks is not going to play, as we just noted. AJ Haulcy also we're expecting not to play in the game. And Frank Wilson told us prior that Jack Pyburn likely was going to be an opt-out in this bowl game as well. So those are some pretty significant players for your team and guys that you count on. Nussmeier, Anderson, Whit Weeks, AJ Haulcy, Jack Pyburn. Just when you look even, defensively, for example, not having the guys we just mentioned, Haulcy was your leader, your leading tackler. Weeks only had 31 tackles on the season. He played in 8 games, but it's important to note that, the games he played at the end of the season against Western Kentucky and Oklahoma, limited snaps, and he played just 3 snaps against Florida. So while he did play in 8 games, he only really played extensively in 5 games this year. So 3 snaps against Florida, only 17 snaps against Southeastern, by the way, as well, because LSU was blowing the doors off and didn't play the second half. 14 snaps against Western Kentucky, and then, as we mentioned, the 36 snaps against Oklahoma. So you're talking about, 4 of the 8 games, 3-4 of the 8 games that he played with very limited defensive snaps. So my real hope is that Whit Weeks does choose to return. But in any event, not to lose sight of the point, Haulcy, your leading tackler, Weeks, one of your best players when healthy, and then Jack Pyburn was among your most productive defensive linemen. He led your defensive linemen in tackles with 52, 5.5 TFLs, 2 sacks, a pass breakup, 8 quarterback hurries, fumble recovery. So Pyburn was your most productive defensive lineman this year. So you're without your leading tackler, your most productive defensive lineman, and of course, Whit Weeks as well, then Nussmeier and Aaron Anderson. So Tigers are going to be shorthanded. They're not going to look like they normally would at the beginning of the season. But it's worth noting, what an opportunity for Michael Van Buren to run out there again. What an opportunity for some of the receivers that we just talked about that'll have there. When you look at linebacker with no Whit, West Weeks has declared. It remains to be seen if West is going to play in the bowl game, but that means a guy like Devon Keys, certainly, and Tylen Singleton should be out there with a big opportunity. And then maybe even Zach Weeks at linebacker. No Jack Pyburn means more of an opportunity for Dylan Carpenter, Kalaj Cobbins, some of the young edge players that got some run late in the season when you had the injury to Gabe Relaford. And you look at, Jamari Butler missed some time as well, missing a game late in the season. So you're really going to have an opportunity for some of these young guys to get out there and get reps and get game experience. So that's really what to look forward to when LSU takes on Houston a week from Saturday in the Kinder's Texas Bowl there at NRG in Houston. Okay, that's going to do it for us here on today's episode. Please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're on a podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app, rate us, leave a review, and be sure to let a friend know that they love the Tigers. We got you here every single day for Locked On LSU. It's your team every day.